Next is back. Congratulations. This is Miss Barbara's group.
You're in Sean's group?
No, we're in Barbara's group, sir. Gatortown.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Hit it. If you don't like it, flip the fucking channel. All right, Miss Barbara, what are we talking about? Gas and ass? Or boats and hoes?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we talking about? First off, let's welcome Nexus back. Yes! Sidekick is in the house.
I'm his sidekick.
No. You're the pimp. I'm the player, baller, status, whatever. You're the pimp. I'm the bum.
No, you the classy, fantastic, my nigga.
Trauma?
What would you do without them?
Trauma
How would you do without
and low stealthine.
I know that.
Hold on, wait a minute. Does that say trauma and low on caffeine or trauma and low on caffeine? Because I smell trauma and low on caffeine. Yeah, that's what I see. Right? Do you see trauma and low on caffeine or trauma and low on self-esteem?
Self-esteem.
Oh, because I was thinking caffeine.
I'm gonna try. Welcome back.
You're going to try what?
I don't know. Yeah. Gotta behave. Gotta behave.
There we go, young brother.
Oh, I need one. I want to.
Anyone? Yes, sir. Are you participating with us? All right. Well, congratulations. Yes, sir. All right. Here you go, Mr. Brown. All right. Here you go, young man. You be joining us? All right. And for those, for them who's spectating. Here you go, brother.
My nigga. Tell me
Either one. Oh.
Gabby, you want to get on the camera? Gabby.
She's camera shy. Come on.
Hop on the camera, Gabby.
It's a live stream. Check it out in the middle, in big cursive.
Remember to do it on time.
Yes, sir. No, I'm just happy I'm here at the house
Alright,
of
so
hope.
how many people left for these?
George
I know
And
George.
Pedro. Pedro's at school.
Pedro's at school. Who else is missing? Where else is missing?
I'm not missing. If I stay missing,
That's right.
There was a couple of people that didn't have a pass. The Jamaican guy, the guy with the mohawk. I know who's missing. Let me see. He just came from quarantine like 3 or 2 days.
I don't know, man.
Well,
I know my name. Yes. That's signing, right? Here.
Alright,
I got a
guys,
pen, but I want it to be unique.
let's start with our
Me.
session today. Let's do a feeling check.
What's up? Let me hit.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm feeling happy, motivated, blessed, and aggravated because they're trying to kick me out, man. But my sweat, Saturday leg, I'll never kick me out. Anthony Brown, okay. I got a big round. There you go, young man.
You can't play while we're doing
Make sure
the
to
group.
play back for Miss Barber's. Okay, next, how you feeling? I'm good to see you back, dog. Yes, sir.
I feel great because my brother.
Thank you. We're happy you're back, man.
I'm happy to be back.
It's been a despicable place, whatever.
How was the journey?
It was lit. I got kicked with girls. Can't complain about that.
You got kicked with some girls while you're in the hospital?
You ain't got no money, man.
Tell me
I
about
got
that.
hugs, I got kisses. You stuck with girls?
Yes,
I did not have sex.
that's good. I mean, that's not good, but that's good. That's good. You stuck with thinking with this head.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
All right, we're gonna start. Did I get a feeling check from everybody?
No, this young man.
Go ahead,
How you feeling, Doc?
I'm feeling great. Another day.
Walters.
I'm feeling great. Another day sober here in Hasselhoff.
Okay. Mr. Brown, how are you feeling today?
Really peaceful.
Peaceful. Okay. Mr. Henry, how are you feeling? James?
I'm okay.
You're okay. I'm trying to feel the name again.
Carter.
Mr. Carter. How you
I
feeling,
feel
Mr. Carter?
blessed.
You feel blessed. Bradley, how you feeling?
So optimistic.
Golf clap.
Optimistic. All right.
I don't even know
So-
what that means.
Oh, I mean, it's feeling positive about what's ahead.
Positive about what he's about.
That's optimistic.
Okay. All right. So
You got Sleeping Beauty back there. I see it. I see it. Shining bright.
don't put her name on it. Jonathan, don't put her name on it.
No, I'm putting
You can
Mr.
put
Brown's name
Brown.
on it.
Okay, go ahead. All right, Mr. Brown. All right, guys, so welcome again to another session. I don't know where everybody else is. We have 15 people here, and I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 is out for outside assessment. I don't know where the others are. So I remind me to mark them absent.
Okay.
All right, so today we're going to look at trauma and low self-esteem. A few days last week we did trauma and the association with trauma, meaning the things that people go through when they experience trauma. And I did say to you that there are so many traumatic events that we go through on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be anything big, doesn't have to be family oriented. It could be just an accident outside or those wildfires that carry on in California
Right.
and people lose their homes and families. Look at Ukraine today. Ukraine is having a real serious issue because Russia is
Invading.
invading
I was just talking to a Ukrainian girl.
Ukraine, and I'm sure that the people that are fleeing Ukraine are experiencing trauma because for them to have lived their entire lives in Ukraine and all of a sudden, boom, something happened and they have to pack up and run for their lives. If they didn't run, of course, things could happen. Yesterday I was watching the news and I saw where the bomb hit this place in Kyiv. And I know Kyiv because I've been to the airport.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I was on a school trip for practically 3 months in Ukraine.
mhm.
Yeah,
You know where I went on a school trip to?
where?
Just jail.
Okay.
It's called Scare Straight. You know where I went when I was 14?
Okay.
That same place.
All right, and so the people in Ukraine, there was this first responders that was coming out with this lady on a gurney, and she was pregnant.
Mm-mm.
So she died pregnant because of a catastrophic event. So just think about that. We are fortunate on this side of America,
Mhm.
and I would say we are blessed because we are not going through catastrophic events of that nature.
Oh, okay.
But however, some of us are still going through our own little trauma, our own little turmoils that we encounter, whether within our families or we know of people who are going through trauma. Let's look at the first little few stanzas. It says, before a traumatic life experience, it is common to believe in your ability to make good decisions, to control your environment, and to keep yourself safe. Trauma smashes these beliefs and leads to new ones, namely being unable to count on your judgment. If you once judged a situation, a person, a behavior to be safe, and it proved to be traumatic, it is easy to believe that your actions cannot change or influence things that you cannot control in your fate. So simply means this: if you once believed that going to the courthouse was safe, do you believe going to the courthouse now is safe?
No.
It's not, because people, when things don't go how they want it to go, they get belligerent and they start turning over stuff. I think they've been watching too much movies, turning over tables and carrying on. Okay?
Mhm.
And there was a time when I was growing up, and back into my generation, where people used to be so cognizant
What's
that
that mean?
they are conscious,
Oh, okay, okay.
that they're in court,
Mhm.
and you cannot do things or say things that will upset the judge, and they will throw you out. Okay? But now everything is the norm. Okay? People get so upset in court and they scream and yell and carry on, and before you know it, the judge put them out. But not until after they have already expressed themselves. So what we consider as a safe place, to us sometimes it's no longer safe. That's
Correct.
what that is saying.
Do you know what the last time I was in the courthouse?
No.
March 17th, 2016.
And how was it for you?
It was awesome. I turned myself into the Department of Corrections on a 4-year basis. Credit time served, a year Broward County Jail. I was the happiest clam in the sea. You know why?
Why?
Because I got off the dope. And I got out of Florida State Prison. No, not Florida. God, no, I don't want to go there. South Bay Correctional Institution, and a changed man. You know why? Because I talked to a bunch of lifers, and you know what? You had the second chance to be somebody.
You talked to a bunch of who?
People with life sentences,
Mhm.
life plus 30.
And
People
what-
with the triple life.
And what did you learn from them?
What did I learn? That I have a second chance at this so-called life, a second opportunity, a second blessing to see the free world, to see beautiful women surrounded by palm trees and the ocean and the waves and the awesome breeze that God brings.
Okay.
And you know what? I fudged up by getting back on this substance. But you know what? I had a life learning experience from my last using this horrific drug.
So you have 2 life experiences right there that should propel you to change your behavior.
Yes. And also I got 2 little miracles, my niece and nephew.
Okay.
And like we was discussing earlier, I'm going off topic, but I'm venting, so bear with me.
Okay.
And I got 2 little miracles. My sister was Jamaican. She has a little autistic son, but he's awesome. But you gotta learn how to deal with him. And then she also got this 4-year-old princess. Actually 5, turning 6. That goes to show you the dope. I don't remember. Little princess, got the little Jamaican little chubby teeth in the forehead. And the fuzzy hair like she got. Awesome. Cute little princess, man. And it's terrible, man, because this rips me apart. And I cry every time I think about it, and I'm crying in front of y'all. I don't fuck. My last time before I ended up in a coma, I went to my mom's house to take a shower because I was on the streets running from place to place. And I took a shower and then I used, but my stupidity, I forgot a syringe on the countertop, and my niece grabbed it. And good thing I can't say she was trained, but she did the right thing. And she grabbed it and ran to my sister, her mother. And she was asking her mother, "What's this?" And 5 minutes later, I got a phone call, of course. You're not welcome here no more, and that killed me, but it also brought up my tolerance, because my tolerance already was Pluto, meaning my tolerance was high, but my tolerance, created higher and higher because I suffer from a lot of depression. And when I'm depressed, that's my comfort zone to use, because it gets you away from, my substance gets me away from my depression, because I nod out and I just. But that's back to topic, man. That was my life experience, man. I got opportunity to see around. I was around by a bunch of lifers, man, and and this year, 9/11 brings 3 years since I don't know how, but I got no traffic citations, I got no notice to appears, and I got no charges postponed. So I get the opportunity to go back to the facility where I was, and a couple brothers that got life plus 30, the other ones got triple life.
I get to go visit them, you know, and say, look, man, I fucked up, but, you know, I was on the right track when I left, but I got with the ex-crackhead. You can't, excuse my language, two junkies, man, you can't work in a relationship and your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, you can't date them. But yes, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Jonathan,
I had to vent.
you didn't go out of the subject, like you said. Because believe me on that traumatized you when you need speak a surrender.
No, that created such a very big tolerance because it made me depressed, dog. Could you imagine? I have hepatitis C. God forbid if that pretty little angel would have took off that cap and just poked her arm.
That's
And
why
she would have had to
traumatized
live
you
with
in a
Hep
way.
C.
Traumatized in a way emotionally.
She would have had to live with Hep C because of me. You know how more of a tolerance I would have had? You know, that went on through my mind every time I shot up.
So this second, so Jonathan, where's your paper? This
Right in
second,
front of me. My paper's in my mind.
this second place is yours. A common way to try and reduce or manage the increased sense of vulnerability
Right.
and fearlessness is to increase your sense of responsibility and control.
And my responsibility was to take a shower, clean up, and get out my mom's house. Simply because she didn't want me using around the children, but however I did.
We become vulnerable, very vulnerable,
Hard-headed.
especially when we do substance. Very vulnerable. By this I mean that you don't care where you sleep, you don't care who you hang out with, you don't care about the places you go, you don't care about the people you hurt.
You don't care about
It's
the
just
stores where
all-
you're from. You don't care about the
it's just
struggle.
all
You support
you.
the struggle, but
It's
you're still in
all
the hood.
So
Support the hood by giving
your
them 50 cents on the dollar
vulnerability-
items. That's
Your
me.
vulnerability causes you to lose fear and lose responsibility and lose self-control.
Yes.
You might find yourself claiming responsibility for traumatic occurrences, ignoring the fact that no traumatic event is caused by the person who is experiencing. So, in other words, if a person experiences a traumatic situation,
Like I did.
like Jonathan did when he was in a coma, right? Or
I'll explain it to y'all.
like somebody else who got robbed. That happens. That's traumatic to some people, okay? Or somebody else who experienced a house fire, or somebody else who experienced a break-in. You always second guess yourself by thinking, what could I have done differently? Did I cause myself to be raped? Did I cause myself to be harmed or be robbed? You know what I'm saying? Always second guessing. And then because you're second guessing and you don't have the answer, the next thing is that you internalize it and say, oh my God, maybe I should not have walked up this way. I should have gone that way to prevent the rape. Okay? Or maybe I should have changed the fire alarm batteries to prevent the fire. You know what I'm saying? You started to look at the little things that you could do to prevent the situation. But how many of you know that sometimes the situation just happens out of our control?
That's all the time. For me.
Happens out of our control. If you take the brush fires, if you take the tsunami that people
Hurricanes.
experience, the
Tornadoes.
hurricanes that people experience, these are acts of God. And these things happen unexpectedly when we don't think. Even though sometimes when there's a storm or there's a hurricane, we get the warning by the radio, but how many of us take the warning seriously?
Not us Florida people.
I remember a time back in my country there was a hurricane warning, and I was saying, oh, when you look at the cloud outside, it looks like a normal day like today. But I'm not the meteorologist.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the meteorologist, and so they're saying okay, we're expecting a storm at 2 o'clock today, and you need to do this, you need to make the preparation and get the flashlight and blah, 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 blah. But you looking outside, judging it by face value, oh, there's not going to be any storm because look how the sun is shining. Look how the sky is beautiful. What storm are they talking about? And before long, thunder started rolling. And watch this. You didn't make any preparation. You didn't go to the store. You didn't pick up any water. You didn't pick up any food. You didn't do nothing of the sort. And so the storm came. And then after the storm came and you are stuck, no light, no candle, no matches, no electricity.
No generator.
No generator.
Because you didn't
Because you
prepare.
didn't prepare. And because you didn't prepare, the storm comes, and then you now start to second guess, oh my God, these are some of the things I needed to do. I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this.
We got the lighters.
Especially if you have a loss of life within the arcade. That is traumatic because you didn't take the necessary precaution to get yourself or your family ready so that you would avoid that catastrophic event and create trauma on your family. Yes, Mr. Brown?
That's good right there, what you're saying, because the information that we're getting now for our life, for this addiction, this disease, this disease, the crack, whatever. We're getting information now in this life. We say if you look outside and say it's a normal day, the storm ain't gonna come, but it came. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So we can live like, oh man, fuck this, man. We just going on live like all of a sudden, bam, there it is. And then it'll be too late to go look back in the book and see, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. So it's good that, we get prepared now for that test. I don't know how many people take it serious or not, but I take it serious, because I've been around the block 2 times.
Yeah.
One of the 2 times. And I just don't take life for granted no more. I don't take this for granted no more. Every good perfect gift comes from God's will.
Yeah.
And so I know that it's a good place.
Oh,
Compared to where I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't be dismissive of these ideas or these actions or these situations. They do happen. You may have never experienced them, but there are going to be people in your family or in your peers that may have experienced them and just did not take the necessary steps. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Like Mr. Brown was sharing, take life seriously, man, because like I was gonna discuss my coma situation, but I'll do that at the end of the seminar here, because, I want her to do her thing, but, because you never know, man, God forbid you wake up and you can't touch it, you can't feel no more, you wake up, half your body's dead. You never know what the next day is gonna bring, man, so be blessed that you make it through the day and wake up,
The other thing is, instead of preparing, you always have to try and take control of every facet of your life. Schedule every minute of the day. Look at the day before you and schedule something to do. Micromanage the lives of your life and the life of those around you. So a lot of us don't like people micromanage us, especially, I'm going to use the job. When we're in a job and we have somebody who is supervising over us, some people will micromanage on a lower level. It's not as intense. But some people will micromanage in that every minute they're checking, did you do this? Did you get through this? Did you do this? Did you get through this? And for the entire day, you are there pressing and suppressing because you want to get things done, but because this person is on top of you micromanaging. So it is in your work life, so it should be with your natural life. You should be able to micromanage your life every step of the way and almost every day, so that you don't make the same mistakes over and over again. Yes, Doctor.
When I'm at work, I do professional. I act professional.
Mm-hmm.
And do what I do to my best effort. I don't micromanage, I mean, although my buddy who I work for, he's like, why didn't you do it this way? And that's the only really thing that really pisses me off, because he knows and I know that I do my best at it. And if I cannot accomplish that objective that I'm there to do, of course I'll ask him, because he's always my go-to
Go to the back of the.
mechanic, if you must. And because this profession I'm in, it's very, very serious, especially here in South Florida. It's called air conditioning, and us people, we need it. So it's my responsibility to perform my task as best as I can.
Okay, in a traumatic situation also, it is easier or it is common to believe that if you have been, you have been smarter, or if you have been faster, like I said before, if you fought harder, or probably yell louder, or simply be a better person, then the trauma would not have occurred. I did say that, but I didn't carry on all that kind of stuff, the yelling and the screaming. But do you see where I'm coming from with this?
Yes, 100.
Where it's just self-blaming. Yes, if I had done this, then I would have done that. Yes. If I did this, I would have done that differently. Okay? And so it is common. It is common for people to believe that if they had done something differently, the trauma would not have occurred. These inaccurate beliefs, though understandable, cause damage by creating a false.
Sorry about that.
Hey, good time, good time. Hey, good time. Yeah, but it's a good dog. No, I can't wait. That's my dog, man. That's my road dog. That's my. Sorry. Hey, Mike, look who's back. Mike. What's up, dog? Look who's back.
For real, y'all don't see Miss Barbara on.
I'm sorry. I'm totally sorry. That's my fault. Sorry.
A little bit of excitement for today. It's nothing major.
No.
You just want nobody in here.
Now everybody's shocked.
Everybody.
Yeah. This shit's awesome.
I'm sorry.
You could have waited until.
It's like a national holiday.
Oh,
No, you can't. Good news.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that. I'll take all the blame.
No, I take the blame, not you.
My name.
I'll let you fuse. Let's ride, man.
Yes, sir.
Micromanaging the lives of their around you.
Okay, so
I taught you. All right, micromanaging.
these inaccurate beliefs, though understandable, cause damage by creating a false logical conclusion that since the trauma, you guys that are getting your lunch behind there, can you keep quiet? I'm not coming back out again.
See, that's why I wanted to have it in here.
Who said you wanted to come out?
These inaccurate beliefs, though understandable, cause damage by creating a false logical conclusion that since the trauma did happen, you must have deserved or caused it. So let's look at how trauma damages our self-esteem.
Oh,
Hold on, let me finish. Self-esteem is your opinion of yourself. People with healthy self-esteem like themselves and value their achievements. While everyone looks confident occasionally, people with low self-esteem feel unhappy or unsatisfied with themselves most of the time. This can be remedied, but it takes attention and daily practices to boost your self-esteem.
All right.
Go ahead now, brother.
My trauma,
Hold on, no,
yeah, how it lowered your self-esteem.
no, let's do it at the end.
Oh,
Or you tell us.
no, right there.
Hold on. I'll give you an opportunity to share.
You said how your trauma messed up your self-esteem.
Yes.
Yeah, that being in a coma, before that, messed up my self-esteem.
Okay, but I don't want you to relate the trauma now. I'll give you an opportunity tonight to share.
All right, let's hit it.
A low self-esteem can reduce the quality of a person's life in many ways. What do I mean by a quality? The person's quality of life.
Variety?
Quality.
A variety.
Quality is,
I don't want the word variety. Variety is things. Quality of life is what? Huh? Fulfilling? The ability that you have to do some things, possess some things, live a good lifestyle. Okay? Low self-esteem reduces that quality in a person's life in many ways. Let's look at some of the ways. First one is says negative feelings. Anybody can describe that?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Because I've been out using drugs, drinking alcohol, I've been up for 3-4 days, I ain't taking a shower, smelling bad, and all of a sudden you walk into a store, you go to the store and you see all of these people, they're looking good, they're smelling good, they got money, then you have little kids, everybody coming, you crackhead, you basically you, disrespecting, you know, that tears you down. You know?
Lack of self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like a self-esteem, that tears you down, that make you feel bad about yourself, and make you feel ashamed. You
Feeling
know?
ashamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
The effort attitude. That's my main one.
I didn't hear you.
The effort. I don't want to say it because it's a curse word, and I'm trying to prevent saying curse words.
All right, so constant self-criticism, feelings, like Mr. Brown said, of sadness, feeling angry, feeling depressed, feeling shame, discontent, it's not on there, but it pops in my head. Discontent, guilt, just feeling worthless about yourself and worthless about your situation. Why? Because you're experiencing that kind of low self-esteem. And he did say after using drugs. After using drugs. Is that the only time? I'm sorry, Mr. Brown, go ahead.
I mean, because y'all, and the incentive part about that is that, guess what? What? We go back and repeat the same thing over again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, apart from taking substance, is there anything else that you can think of that causes people to have low self-esteem? Negative feelings. We're doing self-esteem, and we're doing negative feelings. Is there anything else that you can think of that could cause an individual to have negative feelings? Hold on, Jonathan. Anybody?
Anybody? I can answer that.
I got it. The lack of sexual performance. Yes. It can tear you down.
Okay. So we talking about ego.
Oh,
right
let me
there.
pass out some papers.
The word we're going to use, Jonathan, is ego.
Ego.
Okay, E-G-O. Go ahead.
Rejection?
Rejection. Rejection can allow you to feel so negative about yourself.
When you don't shave or have a nice haircut, you don't want to go out.
You said when you don't
Shave or have a haircut. I don't feel like going out.
How does that create a negative feeling? Tell us.
Because you feel bad, because you look like mess.
You look like crap.
Okay.
And you don't care, you're just going to get it fixed, or you're going to rob a bank, or whatever the hell you're doing.
Okay. All right, so
Is that what
other,
you meant? Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, well,
okay, so other areas of low self-esteem, we're looking now at the relationship problems. For example, they may tolerate all sorts of unreasonable behavior from partners because they believe they must earn love and friendship. Cannot be loved or not lovable. So it's two things. Either you're
Not low.
you believe that you are loved, or you earn the love and the friendship, or you cannot be loved or you're not lovable. Alternatively, a person with low self-esteem may feel angry and bullied by other people when it comes to relationship. How do you say about that?
I say I'm not lovable.
Feel like sometimes
Why?
you have to try to build a relationship. They gotta do stuff.
What happened?
I feel like you gotta build it, gotta do stuff. You know what I mean? Buy flowers, buy people money, they gotta do stuff like that. Build it up.
Oh, so if the person has low self-esteem, you have to do things, that's what you're saying? You have to do things in order to build up the person's self-esteem?
Yeah.
Like buy them flowers and buy them chocolate?
You don't have to, you want to.
Yeah, cause sometimes words ain't enough. Love is an action word.
But you know what? I don't believe that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Brown.
I don't believe,
Exactly.
Mr. Brown, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Listen to me carefully, it happens. But if you are a person that has low self-esteem, you have to first acknowledge that you have it.
Okay.
Okay? It doesn't matter any amount of money. You find a girl next door, it doesn't matter any amount of money that she will offer you.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter the amount of perfume that she will buy you, the amount of gifts she will give you. You can get all that stuff.
That does play a part.
Because you know what? It is in here. You have to have a change of heart and a change of mind. Unless you change your heart and change your mind, that self-esteem is going to be where it is with all the collection of goods that you got. You have to get up and change your heart. Change the way you think, because low self-esteem is a pattern of how you think. You thinking that you're worthless. You thinking that you're good for nothing. You thinking that you are trash. You're thinking that I'm this or that. But until you get up and change the pattern of your thoughts and start to look from within, it doesn't matter what you get. All the money, all the whatever, all the goods that you get, and you could accumulate them as much as you want. It doesn't help you because it doesn't change your thinking pattern, and it doesn't change who you are until you change your heart and change your thinking pattern. Yes? It's individual. You might want it, Mr. Brown. Somebody else might not want it. Somebody else over here might want it. The other person might not want it, because guess what? For some people, it's an excuse that they use to do nothing. Are you agree with me?
Yes.
Self-esteem. Look, if you sit there and cry, I have low self-esteem, it could be a way to just get out of changing your lifestyle. It could be a way that you think or use to not wanting to find a job. You know what I'm saying? It could be a way that you use to keep doing the same things the same way and looking for the same results. Go ahead, Mr. Gary.
It could be a curse.
Mr. Kerr.
It could be a curse.
It could be a curse.
A curse.
A clutch. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Your low self-esteem could be a clutch. All right, let's move on. We're talking about trauma and low self-esteem. Because you've experienced the trauma, then you experience low self-esteem of fear. Fear of trying. Fear of getting up. Fear of challenges. Fear of changing. Changing a lot of stuff. Changing your life, changing your way you dress, changing your patterns, just changing. The person may doubt their ability or their worth to avoid the challenges, and I just said that. Not in so many words, but I did just say that. You have to change The whole concept is changed.
Yeah.
Okay? So it doesn't matter you say, I'm fearful of doing that. Like you said, Mr. Carter, it's a crutch. It's a crutch.
Okay, somebody
The
let it.
person feels self-conscious and stressed around others constantly look for signs that people don't like them. Is that true?
Say it again now.
People with fear of judgment. These persons feel self-conscious and stressed around others, constantly looking for signs and evidences that people don't like them. Go ahead, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, I don't really care about people like me, because they ain't like Jesus Christ, and he was the Savior of the world.
And that's real. And that's real.
And that's the reason.
So
That's real.
you have to, over the years, you know, you have to, you know, you have to get that in your mind, you know. There's some people, they want people to like them. If they don't like me, I say, how you know they don't like me? You don't know what the people think. You just let the people look at you like that. I don't mean people don't like you. You keep making that up in your own concept.
Perception,
your own
yes.
mind.
Yes, absolutely. You see people and they might just be staring at you.
Right.
You don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
You just conjure up something in your brain and
Right.
say, oh, that's what the person thinks. Okay. All right, so low resilience. A person with low self-esteem finds it hard to cope with a challenging life event because they already believe themselves to be hopeless. Is that true? Absolutely. Lack of self-care. What do I mean by self-care? Mr. Brown just said it.
Just said it earlier.
Mr. Brown just said self-care. Going sloppy every day. Not changing your clothes.
Not taking a
Smelling
bath.
dirty. Not taking a shower. Don't have a place to sleep. And all this thing.
Losing weight.
Losing weight. Losing sleep. No exercise.
I experienced all that in my life.
Yes. Repetitive behavior. And so, yes, when you do experience trauma, it's hard in here. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. When we do experience trauma, these are some of the things that comes with the traumatic experiences that we encounter. I'm running out of here right now. Too hard in here. Ooh, Lord.
You think this is bad? You should try the dorm at night. This ain't nothing.
Persons may care so little that they neglect or abuse themselves. For example, drink too much alcohol, do too much whatever, and too much whatever. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Self-harming behaviors. Low self-esteem people will do risky self-harm. For example, cutting themselves. I'm not talking about.
I know people like that.
I'm not talking about tattoo.
I know, right? I know people like that.
I think there's different levels of low self-esteem.
Different levels, Mr. Brown. Different levels of low esteem.
Yes.
And it's not for anybody to judge anybody.
Oh.
It's really for you to just self-evaluate.
It's help. It's supposed to help them type of people.
It's for you to self-evaluate and see exactly where you are in terms of where you've been. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we were saying self-harming behaviors could be you cutting yourself. Okay? Eating disorder means overeating,
Mm-hmm.
causing abuse to yourself and to others, or even having suicidal or homicidal ideation. These beliefs grate away. That means, you know what it means to grate? You know what grater? It chips away at your self-esteem and stoke harsh opportunities or harsh opinions of yourself to the point where the ensuring self-loathing can become unbearable and paralyzing. In other words, all of these of the above will sometimes, if it becomes unbearable, it will paralyze or cripple you to the point where you begin to hide, or you feel like you want to hide, you feel like you want to disappear, you feel like you want to be non-existent, or it causes you to desperately prove that you are not worthy. Not worthy. Okay? So those are trauma and low self-esteem. And like I said before, it's not for any of us to judge anybody. But each person has to reevaluate themselves. Okay? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Carter.
Hey, did you imagine somebody just got a $40 million contract? This happened in real life. Dude, he played with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was a linebacker. He got a $40 million contract. So he started going out drinking. He had not a wife, but a girlfriend. So when he got the $40 million, he went and bought him a Bentley, right? So he wouldn't stay home. He neglected his girlfriend at home. So he was going out, with women in the street and stuff. So when he did come home, the woman pulled a gun on him. After going in the street for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, doing, not coming home. When he did come home, the woman pulled a gun on him. So he took the gun from the woman and he shot the woman 9 times. So now he don't want to go to prison. This little guy with a Bentley. So he goes to the stadium where he played Kansas City Chiefs. He played with Kansas City Chiefs. He went there and his coach and everybody was talking to him and telling him to kill himself. And he blew his brain out in a brand new Bentley. And nobody could talk him out of it. His coach, his friends, nobody could talk him out of it. He was just, but he had money. It just, I guess, from drinking all the alcohol, all the partying and stuff. And then after he killed his girlfriend, he didn't want to go to prison, basically. He didn't want to face up to the fact. And he killed himself. He had all this money.
So you see, it doesn't matter the amount of things you accumulate in life. It doesn't. All the things that you accumulate are temporary. They disappear after a while. You have the money, they're materials. They only last for a time. And then after that, you are left to deal with yourself and your issues. You know what I'm saying?
He could have just went to prison, and he still could have had money.
Well, 10 chances to 1, he could have probably go to prison and they sentence him to life. Where does the money go? You know what I'm saying? So
He still have the money.
he would still have the money, but where is he to spend it?
Commissary,
A bunch of
and the
dudes.
people that are getting stuff in.
Money
And
is
then
fun.
extortion.
Money is fun.
Extortion.
Nah, his ass get extorted
Money
real
is
quick.
Real quick.
Put that banger on his ass, there's people sending that money.
On life. I know people that would.
Yes, sir. I know quite a few.
It's how the game goes. It's how the
Money
game
is
goes.
money too,
Yes, it is. It's nothing but bullshit that us people fucking live by. I live on my
Okay,
fucking
thank you
health,
so
freedom,
much.
and happiness.
Thank you so much for joining today. I'll see you later on for processing.
Oh, chauffeur, can I get a push?
Take me to Starland.
All right, thank you, Johnson.
I thought my dog was gonna push me up there. Damn. You ain't gonna push me back to where I came from? Oh, he forgetting about me.
Thank you, everybody.
Turner, what's up, my nigga? What's happening? So Bailey wasn't there with you? He ain't come to the house over? Oh, okay. Oh, you went to the crib over? That nigga knew he was going to the crib. How you been feeling, my nigga? Out of jail finally, right? Man.
Hey, you want to play? Then you over there with the ball like that? Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to come to the right.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
Hey, Nancy. Did that remote ever turn up?
You gotta take it up there.
Good job. Yeah. No problem. No problem. Got a little bit right in. That's all we got, right? Hell of a shot. Huh? Hell of a shot. Last shot. Right.
Oh, you forgot to take us off.